Hello, this is Photography Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Morbid, the 7 Acolytes for the PS4. Morbid, the 7 Acolytes is an action RPG Souls-like developed by Still Running. You play as a character tasked with exploring a dark gothic world in order to kill the 7 Acolytes. So what is it like to play? Well, in terms of controls, it's a bit of a mixed bag. On the one hand, you've got lots of moves from sneaking, melee attacks, ranged attacks, run, dodge roll and parrying. But I would say that the character movement is a bit weird. It's like you're walking on ice as your character drifts all around the environment. Combat moves are also quite slow, deliberate and methodical, resulting in some quite painful combat scenarios. Your character has 3 key attributes: health, stamina and sanity. The more gruesome encounters you have, the lower your sanity will drop, and this has a negative effect on the experience that you will gain. So combat can be a bit hit and miss due to the sluggish feel, but on the plus side, all of the weapons felt different enough to create a unique style of play. In terms of the enemies you'll encounter, they range from armoured knights, ghostly skulls and frustrating fleshy foes. The game does spike in difficulty quite early, meaning that you'll be running into some very overpowered enemies, resulting in lots of grinding to work up those skill points to strengthen your character. Like the first boss fight I thought was pretty dire, and it left me with that sense of trepidation about what was to follow. But I am really glad to say that after finishing the game, the overall quality and variety of the bosses was pretty good. But in order to beat these bosses, you will have to level up at some point. Each kill gives you brain liquid. Once your meter fills up, you obtain a skill point. These skill points can be spent to enhance blessings that you can attach to your character. Morbid is not an easy game by any stretch, but it's also a game that does not penalise you for dying, with no real lost progression. Runes can be obtained through your exploration, and these can be attached to weapons. Each one gives a specific boost, like fire damage for example. And in general, I felt the balance of grinding and progression was about right without ever becoming a chore. Finally, let's look at the game world. The game world, it's broken up into small bite-sized areas that you can explore. Within these areas you will find shrines. These act as checkpoints and fast travel locations. Here you can view your maps that you've found. You can upgrade blessings with skill points, or you can just meditate to help your sanity. You can also peruse a wonderful little sort of codex of sorts with information on enemies, allies, acolytes and just key elements of the game's lore, which I thought was really interesting and well put together. Visually, it's a darkly gothic world full of weird and wonderful visual elements. The surrealistic, twisted and wonderful indie visuals make this stand out from the crowd. Also, the visual interface is excellent with clean and bold fonts, easy to read subtitles and a really good menu design. In terms of sound, the music and the ambience add to the atmosphere of the adventure, but sadly there's no voice acting featured here. Okay, good and bad points. The good points are that the boss fights are pretty entertaining on the whole. It's an interesting world to explore with plenty of lore to delve into. Weapon variety is good, and the music and ambient sound effects, they're very atmospheric. Bad points: character movement and combat controls are slow and sluggish. It can be a little bit of a grind to level up, and general gameplay is quite repetitive. Once you enter the second half of the game, you feel like you've kind of done it already. Right, the verdict. Morbid, the 7 Acolytes is a good quality indie Souls-like with plenty to get your teeth into. The boss fights are cool, the game world is interesting, as is the detail and the backstory found in the codex. Yes, it can be a little repetitive, can be a bit boring and a bit of a grind, but in general, it did keep me interested long enough to enjoy it on the whole. It felt a little bit like a sort of a mashup of games like Dark Souls, Death Trash, Blood Omen Legacy of Kain and things like that. And it's definitely one for the indie fans out there worth considering, worth putting on your list. So my score for Morbid, the 7 Acolytes, is 7.5 out of 10. Okay, that was the review. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, become a patron. This is Photography Gamer, signing off. Thank you.